Today on Restricted, you're coming with us to Classified Moto's secret headquarters here in Richmond, Virginia. We'll be giving you a little tour of the shop and taking you through our very last Yamaha XV build. We're glad you can make it. We'll see you inside.
Music up as we open on John working in the shop. Actual work if possible. John introduces himself and talks about Classified Moto. My name is John Ryland, and about 7 years ago I started a company called Classified Moto in Richmond, Virginia. We build anywhere from about 10 to 15 custom motorcycles a year, and that's not right. All right. Open on Donick working instead. He looks healthier, and no sparks. Save for later. Okay, so this is Donick Hirashenka. He's our lead mechanic and fabricator and welder, and he does pretty much everything around here. Here he can be seen assembling some R6 forks. Here he's putting together an entire motorcycle really quickly. And then here he's riding on the beach on a motorcycle. Okay, and finally, we see Donick riding into the city of Richmond on a 1982 Yamaha XV 920R. It's very special to us, and here's why. The first bike we ever built as Classified Moto was a Yamaha Virago. It was an XV 750. And I think since then we've built about 7 or 8. And it's been a really good run, but for us and XVs, this is definitely the end of the line. As far as the history of the XV 920, well, not just XVs in general, Yamaha made this bike that was kind of a cruiser. Had kind of the tall handlebars and a V-twin in it, which was pretty cool, but it came in all different sizes. I think the smallest was maybe a 535, and it went up to 1100 eventually. But I like the motor. The motor is great. It's a big, torquey V-twin. It sounds really good, and it looks nice and clean from the front. It's a really slim profile, and from the side it looks like, kind of muscle bike. So it's got a lot going for it. The very first XV we built was for my friend Sonny, who's a director, and he was making a movie about this female assassin who rode this cool-looking Mad Max-style motorcycle. Later in life, when I see it, it kind of makes me cringe sometimes to think of certain things that I did to it. But we rolled it out of the shed today, and I thought it was pretty sweet. So we're gonna see if we can get it running. The Viragos and the XV 920Rs have issues.
So these bikes, there's certain years that they were coming with a pretty awful starter setup. They were like gears that just launches into another gear and grinds and makes a lot of shavings. They have like a magnet underneath capturing all that. What happens back in the day, they had a throttle gear that just spin by the starter itself, and then the centrifugal force forces it into the flywheel, and you can tell all the grinding that was happening.
when you go to hit the button, they call it the box of rocks. It just sounds like a bunch of stuff, flopping around, metal on metal and stuff like that. So it's really kind of embarrassing. You go to a bike show or a meet, and then you go to leave and start your bike, and it just sounds terrible, and everybody looks at you. So we just replaced the whole system with a more modern system. And as far as drawbacks go, I think it just, from the factory, it's just not very cool. So it's not a real stylish bike. It sort of feels like a copy of a Harley, but not a great one. Yeah, so it's not a spectacular bike from the factory.
Excuse me, what year is this?
1982.
That's what I thought. And then I saw that.
You've never seen a motorcycle like this before. The 1982 XV 920 from Classified Moto. Classic V-twin muscle with suspension and braking straight from the future. And a look that's light years ahead of its time. Classified Moto. The future of custom motorcycles.
Building this last XV was definitely bittersweet for us because it's kind of like we finally figured it out right when we're not going to build any more of them. But we really wanted this one to be unmistakably classified and really special. So we hope you like it.
If you look right on top of the sprocket.
Do we have another cam?
Yeah, and different motor. We can pull it from the one that exploded. So.
Well, that's one of the reasons why this is the last one we're building. Yesterday, went out to shoot. Donick was gonna do some wheelies and stuff like that, and just got out, set up our shot, turned around, and something conked out on the bike. And it looks like the camshaft actually split somehow. The end of the camshaft split in half, and the bolt came out, and the cam chain is just kind of lodged in there. So we got to take it all apart and try to get it ready, so you'll be watching it in action during this episode.
So one day after the work, we decided to take this Virago for a spin and take some videos and drone shots of this bike. So we finally get to the location. Everything's fine, doing a couple passes. I'm turning around, and it's just the noise that you never want to hear in a bike.
Cut to bike falling from the sky.
So right away we freaked out. We think is keep the timing, the pistons hitting the valves, everything's bent. We had to pull the motor out. We had to, oh my gosh, just nightmare. So we get to the shop, and we noticed the cam was not getting oil. It's bone dry. So that's your oil pump, and that's your pickup. Look at this.
One of the previous owners had used a bunch of RTV on something, and that RTV had come loose on one of the cases and got sucked into the oil pump. So it was packed full of rubbery, gasket material. It wasn't letting any oil get to the top end of the motor, and we should have pulled the lines off and cracked them open and made sure that there was oil coming out, which we always do. But it's just kind of a rookie mistake that we made, and I think the bike was trying. It was like, I don't know what to do. It's like you could get really mad and throw stuff around and, you know, and be angry that this thing broke, or you can just kind of roll with it, and that's what we try to do. And really, in the scheme of things, it didn't even seem like that big a deal. Done it, got it fixed, and it's running great. So kind of dodged a bullet.
I gotta go downtown, 'cause that's where my job is. But when I come home, that's when the real work begins.
Dominic and I are both really psyched about the way the bike came out. We thought it was important to end on a really good note, and kind of dreaded it a little bit at first because it was another XB that has the potential for problems, but this one just came out great, and, you know, gave us a little bit of an issue there for a while, but it came out with flying colors, and it turned out, you know, wasn't even the bike's fault this time.
I gotta watch my